Maya's eyes flew open in the darkness. Her heart hammered in her chest like a drum. Someone was knocking on her door. Hard, fast, angry knocking. She grabbed her phone. The bright screen hurt her eyes. 5:03 a.m. Who knocks on someone's door at 5 in the morning? Maya's hands shook as she climbed out of bed. She lived alone in a tiny apartment in the city. The apartment was so small that her bed almost touched her kitchen table. She didn't have much money, but it was hers, and it was safe. Until now. Boom, boom, boom. "I'm coming," she called out, her voice cracking with fear. She grabbed her pink bathrobe, the fluffy one with a coffee stain on the sleeve, and wrapped it tight around herself. Her bare feet were cold on the floor. She tiptoed to the door and looked through the tiny peephole. Her breath caught in her throat. No way. This can't be real. Standing outside her door, looking tired and messy and sad, was Ethan Matthews, her boss, the billionaire CEO of TechVision Industries, the man whose calendar she managed, whose coffee she ordered, whose meetings she scheduled for 3 whole years. The man worth $4.7 billion was standing outside her door at 5 in the morning. Maya's brain stopped working. She just stood there, staring through the peephole, watching him run his hand through his dark hair. He wasn't wearing his usual perfect suit. He had on jeans and a wrinkled shirt. He looked broken. Boom, boom, boom. "Maya, I know you're there. I can see your shadow under the door. Please, I need to talk to someone." His voice sounded different, not like the confident CEO who spoke at big meetings and made million-dollar deals. He sounded like a regular person who was hurting. Maya took a deep breath and opened the door. The hallway light was harsh and yellow. Ethan stood there, tall and broad-shouldered, but somehow looking small. His eyes were red, like maybe he'd been crying. Or maybe he just hadn't slept. "Mr. Matthews?" Maya whispered. "What are you doing here? It's 5 in the morning. Are you okay? Did something happen?" Ethan looked at her pink bathrobe, then at her messy brown hair sticking up everywhere, then at her bare feet with the chipped purple nail polish she'd painted 2 weeks ago. "I'm sorry," he said quietly. "I'm so sorry. I know this is crazy. I know I shouldn't be here. But I couldn't be alone anymore. And I was driving, and somehow I ended up here, and..." He stopped talking. His shoulders sagged. Maya's fear melted away. She'd worked for Ethan Matthews for 3 years. She knew him, not the Ethan from magazines and TV interviews. She knew the real Ethan, the one who said please and thank you to janitors, the one who remembered her birthday, the one who once stayed up all night helping her fix a huge mistake she'd made with a client email. "Come inside," she said, stepping back. Ethan hesitated. "Are you sure? I don't want to..." "You came all the way here at 5 in the morning," Maya interrupted. "You're not standing in my hallway. Come in." He walked into her tiny apartment and stopped. His fancy shoes, probably worth more than her whole month's rent, stood on her worn-out welcome mat. He looked around at her small space. The kitchen was just 4 steps from the front door. Her bed was right there, unmade, with her stuffed elephant, Mr. Peanuts, sitting on the pillow. Her walls had cheap posters and photos with friends. Everything about her apartment screamed poor. Everything about him screamed rich. But Maya didn't feel embarrassed. Not really. Because Ethan wasn't looking at her apartment like it was tiny or cheap. He was looking at it like it was warm, like it was safe, like it was exactly where he wanted to be. "Sit down," Maya said, pointing to her small couch. It was old and blue and had a rip on one arm. "I'll make coffee. You don't have to. Sit down." Ethan sat. Maya walked to her kitchen, which was really just 5 steps away, and started making coffee. Her hands were still shaking. She kept her back to him because she was afraid if she looked at him, she'd say something stupid. "Why is he here? What happened? Did someone die? Is the company in trouble?" "I had a date tonight," Ethan said suddenly. Maya froze. The coffee pot hissed and bubbled. "With Veronica Chase. You know, the socialite, the one from the magazines." Maya knew. She'd seen the photos online. Veronica Chase was beautiful, thin, blonde, and rich. She wore dresses that cost more than cars. She smiled with perfect white teeth. She was exactly the kind of woman a billionaire should date. How was it? Maya asked carefully, still not turning around. Silence. Then, it was horrible. Maya turned around fast, holding 2 coffee mugs. Ethan was slumped on her couch, his head in his hands. He looked up at her, and his eyes were so sad it made her chest hurt. She spent the whole dinner talking about my money, he said. She wanted to know about my houses, my cars, my yacht. She asked how much my watch cost. She took 17 selfies. She didn't ask me one question about me. Not one. She didn't care if I was happy or sad or tired. She just saw dollar signs. Maya walked over slowly and handed him a mug. Their fingers touched for just a second. A tiny spark of electricity shot up her arm. She's not the first, Ethan continued, taking a sip of coffee. They're all the same. They see Ethan Matthews, billionaire CEO. They don't see me. They don't see the guy who likes old movies and hates fancy parties. The guy who's scared of heights but has to fly on private jets for work. The guy who just wants someone to talk to at 5 in the morning. He looked right at Maya. Really looked at her. You see me, he whispered. You've always seen me. You know how I like my coffee, black, no sugar, but with 1 ice cube because I drink it too fast and burn my tongue. You know, I tap my pen 3 times before signing important papers because it's a good luck thing my dad taught me. You know I get quiet when I'm stressed and talk too much when I'm nervous. You know me. Maya's heart was beating so loud she was sure he could hear it. Tell him. Tell him now. Tell him you've loved him for 2 years. Tell him you think about him every morning and every night. Tell him. That's my job, Maya said instead, her voice barely a whisper. I'm your assistant. I'm supposed to know these things. Ethan put his coffee mug down on her scratched-up coffee table. He leaned forward, his dark eyes locked on hers. Is that all this is to you? He asked. A job. The question hung in the air between them like a bomb about to explode. Maya opened her mouth, closed it, opened it again. The sun was starting to rise outside her window. Pink and orange light crept across her floor. Everything was about to change. She could feel it. Maya stared at Ethan. Her mouth felt dry. Her hands were sweating. Is that all this is to you? A job? The question echoed in her head like thunder. Maya started, then stopped. I don't know what you want me to say. The truth, Ethan said softly. Just tell me the truth. But Maya couldn't. Not yet, because the truth was too big, too scary, too dangerous. The truth could ruin everything. She could lose her job. She could lose him. Are you hungry? Maya blurted out, changing the subject fast. I have eggs. And bread. I could make us breakfast. You look like you haven't eaten. Ethan blinked. For a second, he looked confused, then hurt, but he nodded. Okay, yeah, breakfast sounds good. Maya practically ran to her kitchen. Her heart was pounding. She just chickened out. She'd had the perfect moment to tell him how she felt, and she'd run away like a scared rabbit. Stupid, stupid, stupid. She cracked eggs into a bowl, her hands shaking so bad that some shell pieces fell in. She had to fish them out with her fingers. Behind her, she heard Ethan stand up. His footsteps came closer. Can I help? He asked. No, I've got it. Maya. His voice was right behind her. Close. Too close. Let me help. She turned around. He was standing in her tiny kitchen, looking completely out of place in his expensive clothes. But his eyes were kind. Patient. You can butter the toast, Maya said quietly. The bread is over there. Butter's in the fridge. They worked together in silence. Maya scrambled the eggs. Ethan buttered the toast. It was weird and awkward and somehow nice, like they'd done this 100 times before. You have strawberry jam, Ethan said, looking in her fridge. The fancy kind from that little store on 5th Street. Maya felt her face get hot. Yeah, so that's my favorite, Ethan said slowly. He pulled out the jar and stared at it. I mentioned it once, 6 months ago. We were in the car, and you were taking notes about my schedule, and I said, I wished I could stop and get some of that strawberry jam, but I had a meeting. You remembered? Maya focused really hard on stirring the eggs. I remember lots of things. Like, what? Like you hate mushrooms, and you always order extra napkins because you're a messy eater, and you listen to classical music when you're stressed, and you wear mismatched socks on purpose because your little sister used to do it and it reminds you of her. The kitchen got very, very quiet. How do you know about my sister? Ethan asked. His voice was strange. I never talk about Emma. Not at anyone at work. Maya bit her lip. You talk in your sleep, sometimes. Well, not sleep, but you know those long flights we take? You close your eyes and rest, and sometimes you mumble things. You said her name once, Emma, and you smiled. Ethan was staring at her now, really staring, like he was seeing her for the first time. You pay attention, he whispered. Too much attention, Maya admitted. She scooped the eggs onto 2 plates. Her hands were shaking again. Probably way too much attention for just an assistant. She shouldn't have said that. The words just fell out. Ethan took his plate, but he didn't move. He stood there in her cramped kitchen, holding his breakfast, looking at her like she was a puzzle he was trying to solve. Why? He asked. Why what? Why do you pay so much attention? Why do you remember my favorite jam and my dead sister's name and how I like my coffee? Why do you care? Maya felt tears burning in her eyes. This was it. This was the moment. She could lie, or she could tell the truth and risk everything. Because, she started, but her voice cracked. Because, Ethan pressed. He set his plate down. He took a step closer to her. Maya, please. I drove to your apartment at 5 a.m. because I'm tired of people who don't care. I'm tired of fake smiles and fake conversations. I need real. So please, just tell me, why do you care so much about me? Maya's tears spilled over. You really want to know? Yes. You'll think I'm crazy. I don't care. You'll fire me. I won't. You'll. Maya. Ethan grabbed her shoulders gently. His hands were warm and strong. Tell me? The sunrise was getting brighter now. Gold light filled her tiny apartment. Maya could see every detail of Ethan's face. The worry lines on his forehead, the scar above his left eyebrow from a childhood accident he'd mentioned once, the tiredness in his eyes. Do you remember 2 years ago? Maya asked quietly. It was December, really cold, and I had to work late because we had that huge presentation the next morning. Ethan frowned, thinking, yeah, the Morrison deal. We worked until midnight. You notice I didn't have a coat, Maya continued. My coat had ripped that morning on the subway, and I couldn't afford a new one yet. I was going to just deal with the cold. But you went to your office, and you came back with this expensive coat, a really nice one, black and warm, and you said it was an extra one that you didn't need anymore. I remember, Ethan said softly. That was a lie, wasn't it? That wasn't an extra coat. You bought that for me. I saw the store tag still attached to the inside pocket. You bought it that day and you pretended it was old, so I wouldn't feel bad taking it. Ethan didn't deny it. He just waited. And then in March, my mom got sick. Really sick. I had to take time off to visit her in the hospital. I thought I'd lose my job because I'd already used all my sick days. But you told HR that I was on a special assignment, working from home. You covered for me. You lied for me. Your mom needed you, Ethan said simply. And last month, Maya's voice was shaking now. When I was crying in the bathroom because my rent went up and I didn't know how I'd pay it, you accidentally gave me a raise. A big one. You said it was a company policy adjustment, but there's no such policy. You helped me. Ethan's eyes were getting wet too. You think I don't notice these things? Maya whispered. You think I don't see you? The real you? The one who's kind and caring and good? Not the billionaire. Not the CEO. Just Ethan. Maya. You asked me why I care so much, Maya interrupted. Her whole body was shaking now. You want to know why I remember everything about you? Why I pay attention? Yes, Ethan breathed. Maya looked him straight in the eyes. This was it. No going back. Because I've been in love with you for 2 years, she said. The words hung in the air. Ethan's hands dropped from her shoulders. His face went completely blank. Maya's heart shattered into a million pieces. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I shouldn't have said that. I ruined everything. I'm sorry, Maya gasped, backing away. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have. That was completely inappropriate. I'll resign on Monday. Stop, Ethan said. I'll pack up my desk and... Stop. I promise I'll be professional until you find a replacement. Stop. Ethan shouted. Maya froze. Ethan was breathing hard. His hands were in fists at his sides. He looked angry. No, not angry. He looked terrified. Say it again, he demanded. What? Say it again. What you just said. Say it again. Maya's voice was barely a whisper. I've been in love with you for 2 years. Ethan made a sound. It was something between a laugh and a sob. And then he crossed her tiny kitchen in 2 steps, cupped her face in his hands, and kissed her. The kiss was soft at first, gentle, like Ethan was afraid Maya might disappear if he held on too tight. But then Maya kissed him back, and everything changed. Her hands grabbed his wrinkled shirt. His arms wrapped around her waist. The kiss got deeper, stronger, more real. 2 years of hidden feelings poured out in that one perfect moment. When they finally pulled apart, both of them were breathing hard. Ethan started, then stopped. He touched his forehead to hers. I don't have words. Maya's heart was still racing. Was that okay? Did I just make everything weird? Ethan laughed. Actually laughed. It was the most beautiful sound Maya had ever heard. Weird, he said. Maya, I just kissed my assistant at 5:30 in the morning in her tiny apartment after she told me she's been in love with me for 2 years. Yes, it's weird. It's completely, totally, absolutely weird. Maya's stomach dropped. Oh, right. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have. And it's the best thing that's ever happened to me, Ethan interrupted. Maya's brain stopped working. What? Ethan pulled back just enough to look at her face. His eyes were shining. Happy. More alive than she'd ever seen them. Do you know why I really came here tonight? He asked. Because your date was bad. No. I mean, yes, the date was terrible. But Maya, I've had 50 terrible dates this year. 50. And every single time, I go home alone and I think about you. Maya's heart skipped a beat. Me? You? Ethan confirmed. He took her hands in his. I think about how you laugh at my stupid jokes that aren't funny. How you always have an extra pen when mine runs out of ink. How you stand up to me when I'm being stubborn about something. How you make the whole office brighter just by being there. Ethan, I think about that time we got stuck in the elevator for 2 hours, and instead of panicking, you taught me that silly hand-clapping game from when you were a kid. Or when we flew to Tokyo, and you fell asleep on my shoulder, and I didn't move for 3 hours because I didn't want to wake you up. Or... Wait, Maya interrupted. You remember all that? Of course I remember, Ethan said. He sounded surprised. Maya, I remember everything about you. Your favorite color is yellow because it reminds you of sunshine. You hate pickles, but you love cucumbers. You sing off-key when you think nobody's listening. You bite your lip when you're nervous. You have a tiny scar on your chin from falling off a bike when you were 7. Now Maya was crying for real. Big, happy tears rolling down her cheeks. But you're my boss, she whispered. You're a billionaire. You're Ethan Matthews. I'm just Maya. Just Maya? Ethan shook his head. There's no such thing as just Maya. You're brilliant and kind and brave and real. You're the only person in my life who treats me like a human being instead of bank account. You're the only one who sees me. I do see you, Maya said. I always have. I know, Ethan said softly. That's why I'm terrified. Of what? Of ruining this. Of ruining us. Ethan let go of her hands and stepped back. He started pacing in her tiny apartment, 3 steps one way, 3 steps back. There are so many problems, Maya. I'm your boss. That's a huge power imbalance. People will think you only got promoted because we're together. They'll say terrible things about you. The press will dig into your life. Your privacy will disappear. And what if it doesn't work out? What if we try this and it falls apart, and then you lose your job and your reputation? And Ethan, Maya said firmly, stop. He stopped pacing. Maya walked over to him. She put her hands on his chest, right over his heart. She could feel it beating fast. Are you in love with me? She asked. Tell me the truth. Right now. Ethan looked at her for a long moment. The sunrise light made his eyes look gold. Yes, he whispered. I'm completely, hopelessly, desperately in love with you. I have been for at least a year, maybe longer. I tried to ignore it. I tried to date other people, but nobody else is you. Maya smiled, a real huge, beautiful smile. Then we'll figure out the rest. But listen, Maya interrupted. I don't care about your money. I never have. I don't care what people say about me. And yeah, the boss-employee thing is complicated. But you know what? We can fix that. How? Maya took a deep breath. I've been thinking about this for months, even before tonight. I love working with you, but I don't want to be your assistant forever. I want to grow, learn, maybe move to a different department. I'm smart, Ethan. I'm good at what I do. I could work in strategic initiatives or project development. Somewhere I can use my brain for more than just scheduling meetings. Ethan's eyes lit up. You're serious? Completely serious. I was going to ask you about it next month. Actually, but now. Maya squeezed his hands. Now it solves 2 problems at once. I get to advance my career on my own merit, and we don't have that boss-assistant dynamic hanging over us. You've really thought about this, Ethan said, sounding amazed. I've thought about everything, Maya admitted, because loving you wasn't just some silly crush. It's real, and I want to do this right. I want us to be equals, partners, not just in romance, but in life. Ethan pulled her close again. You're incredible. You know that. I have my moments. Maya Williams, will you go on a date with me? Ethan asked suddenly. A real date. Somewhere nice. Somewhere where I can show you off to the whole world. You want to show me off? Maya asked. To the whole world? The press will go crazy. Let them, Ethan said. I'm tired of hiding. I'm tired of pretending. I want to walk into that charity gala next month with you on my arm. I want everyone to know that I'm with the most amazing woman in the world. I want. Maya kissed him again. She couldn't help it. When she pulled back, she was grinning. Yes, I'll go to the gala with you, but on one condition. Anything. I don't want any special treatment at work. If I'm moving to a new position, I earn it. I interview for it properly. No shortcuts because we're together. Deal. Ethan agreed immediately. But I'm adding one condition too. What? You have to teach me how to make eggs as good, Ethan said, pointing at the forgotten breakfast on the counter. Because these smell amazing and I've been eating restaurant food for 10 years. Maya laughed. You want me to teach a billionaire how to cook? I want you to teach me how to live. Ethan said seriously. Really live. Not just work and business meetings and fake dates. I want movie nights and home-cooked meals and stupid hand-clapping games. I want real. I can do that, Maya whispered. They ate their breakfast together. As the sun came all the way up, they sat on her tiny couch, plates balanced on their laps, talking about everything and nothing. Ethan told her about his sister Emma, who died when he was 16. Maya told him about her mom, who was doing better now. They talked about dreams and fears and hopes. It felt like coming home. Around 7 o'clock, Ethan's phone started ringing. He ignored it. You should answer, Maya said. It might be important. Nothing's more important than this, Ethan said. But he looked at his phone anyway. Oh, it's my lawyer and my PR person. And, wow, my mom called 4 times. What happened? Ethan scrolled through his messages. Then he started laughing. Apparently, Someone saw me at your apartment building. There are already photos online. The headline says, Billionaire CEO spotted at mystery woman's apartment at 5 a.m. Maya's stomach flipped. Oh no, they don't know it's me yet. Not yet, but they will soon. Ethan looked at her seriously. Maya, this is your last chance. We can stop this right now. I can tell everyone it was a misunderstanding. We can pretend this never happened. You can stay as my assistant, and nobody has to know. I won't be mad. I'll understand. Maya thought about it for exactly 2 seconds. No, she said firmly. I'm done pretending. I'm done hiding. I love you, Ethan Matthews, and I don't care who knows it. Ethan's smile was so bright it could light up the whole city. Then let's tell them, he said. Together, he called his PR person first. Maya heard him say, yes, I'm in a relationship. Her name is Maya Williams. She's brilliant and kind, and I'm lucky to have her. We'll make a statement at the gala next month. Until then, no comment. Then he called his lawyer and started discussing Maya's new job opportunity. He wanted everything done properly, with interviews and everything. Maya watched him make calls from her couch, wearing his wrinkled clothes, eating scrambled eggs, and planning their future. This was really happening. The sun was fully up now, bright and warm and full of promise. Ethan finished his calls and turned to Maya. Ready for this? Once we step outside, everything changes. I've been ready for 2 years, Maya said. One more thing, Ethan said. He got down on one knee. Maya's heart stopped. Ethan, what are you? Relax, Ethan laughed. I'm not proposing. Not yet, anyway. But I am making a promise. He took her hand. I promise to see you. Really see you. Not just the amazing assistant or the future strategic initiatives director, but Maya, the real, beautiful, complicated, wonderful you. I promise to earn your love every single day. And I promise that no matter how hard this gets, and it will get hard, I won't give up on us. Maya's eyes filled with tears again. I promise too. I promise to keep you grounded. To remind you who you really are when the world tries to turn you into just a dollar sign. I promise to challenge you and support you and love you exactly as you are. Ethan stood up and kissed her forehead. We're really doing this. We're really doing this. They walked to the door together. Maya was still in her pink bathrobe. Her hair was still messy. She probably had mascara smudges under her eyes. She didn't care. Wait, Ethan said at the door. He pulled out his phone and took a selfie of them both. Maya's tiny apartment was in the background. They looked exhausted and happy and real. Why'd you do that? Maya asked. Because I want to remember this. Ethan said. The moment everything changed. The moment I stopped being alone. The morning I found my home. Your home. Not a place, Ethan said softly. A person. You're my home, Maya. Maya kissed him one more time, sweet and soft and full of promise. Then they opened the door and stepped out into the bright morning together. There were cameras waiting outside, reporters shouting questions, flashing lights. But Maya wasn't scared, because Ethan was holding her hand, and they were facing the world together. The sunrise had arrived, and so had their future. Did this love story melt your heart? Smash that like button if you believe in true love. Subscribe and ring the notification bell for more stories where courage and love rewrite destinies. Now here's the big question. Would you confess your feelings to your boss? Type yes or no in the comments below. We want to hear your story. Share this with someone who needs to hear that real love is worth the risk. Remember, true love doesn't knock politely at a convenient time. Sometimes it shows up at 5 a.m. when you're in your bathrobe with messy hair. And when it does, be brave enough to open the door